Hello and welcome to the Sullivan Senior Center Kitchen. My name is Joel Sikorsky. I'm the Elderly Nutrition Supervisor for the Litchfield Hills Elderly Nutrition Program. We have a couple of videos beginning today that we're going to tape. Today's menu consists of a salmon salad with blueberries, and we're also going to do a healthy snack. We hope to show that these menus are brain healthy and give a little bit of information on why they're brain healthy. I always like to start off by saying anything that's healthy for the heart is healthy for the brain, and we're going to try to give you some healthy options to improve the way you eat and increase your digestive system. With me today is Sherry French. She's my assistant for the day and my assistant in the program. We hope to be as expeditious as we can while we're cooking, and we'll start right off and get the ball rolling. Our salad today is a cold salmon as opposed to a hot salmon. A lot of people don't eat it that way. There's a couple interesting things that I'm going to talk about that are within this salad. This is lavash bread. It's quite like a pita. They're fat-free, and we're going to make a cracker out of these. I'm going to start by taking 2 pieces of the lavash bread. It can be found in any grocery store, and lay those on the cutting board. What our dressing in this cracker is native honey from a local honey distributor, and any kind of mustard that you have. You can use whole grain Pommery mustard, or today we're going to be using yellow mustard. It gives a nice flavor inside the cracker. And basically I use equal parts of that, and we're going to mix it together. These videos are brought to us through a grant with the Western Connecticut Area Agency on Aging, and through the kindness of the Sullivan Senior Center to allow us to use their kitchen today. I don't know if you can get a little shot of this, but it's a pretty loose consistency. What we do first is pour about 1/3 of a cup onto the lavash bread, and we'll spread it around. It gives you a great flavor. These can be used as a snack with hummus if you make too many of them, as a crouton, as an extra part for soup. They really are a tasty, tasty item to put with your things. And we're just going to put those together. Do another layer of honey mustard on top. And as you can see, they're pretty quick to make. Lavash also makes an excellent sandwich. A lot of the wraps that people use today are high in fats, and the lavash, as I was saying, is fat-free. They have one detriment, and that is that they have to be kept inside their plastic container, and you should use them as quickly as possible. They dry out very quickly. So I'm just going to step off here, get rid of those. For added flavor, we're going to add a little bit of white sesame seed on the top and a little black sesame seed on. Gives it a nice appearance, and you'll really be able to wow any guests or family members that you have come over to your house. Another portion for this is we're going to cut it into strips. I've already put a little bit of pan spray on the pan so that they don't stick. And we're going to make some really simple shapes. Lay them. We have our oven at 450 degrees, and they're going to go for about 10 minutes. The next thing I'm going to begin, once this is finished, is a marinade for our salmon. We're going to be using citrus fruits today: orange, lemon, and lime. We're also going to have some garlic, some fresh parsley, and a couple other items that we'll talk about as we go. I also like to use, if you could put that in the oven for me, I also like to use sea salt whenever possible. Salt in general should be avoided as much as we can. Most of our foods that we have today are very high in sodium because they're prepackaged. If you are in the habit of having a salt shaker on your table, you should consider getting yourself a salt grinder. It minimizes the amount, and you're also using sea salt or rock salt, which is much more healthy for you than the iodized salt. Okay. Our marinade for the salmon consists of some pre-squeezed juice that I already had to save some time, the juice of half of a lime, This is our professional juicer here. And the juice of a lemon and the juice of an orange. Whenever I make any of my fish, sole française, halibut, I like to try some of the different citrus fruits. You can use grapefruit, you can use orange, you can use lemon, you can use lime. The most popular française, of course, is with lemon. But you can use any of the citrus fruits and it comes out excellent. Just saute it, cover it, squeeze the juice on it, and let it sit in the pan for about 5 minutes and you're in good shape. The next item in here is a very healthy for the brain spice. This is ginger root. Ginger root comes like this. I've taken the time already to peel one and grate it down. And when you grate it, it looks like this. The meat consistency is a grayish yellow. It's a very high potent flavor. I'll be using about a tablespoon of that inside the marinade. You can also get ginger, which you're most commonly seen in a bottle like this. This is a Chinese ginger. It's got a little heat to it. They make a plain ginger, which is very good for baking. Things like pumpkin breads have ginger in them, and cookies and things in the fall in New England. We're used to doing that. This is a new product that I've seen in the grocery stores. It's a roasted ginger. It also has a very different flavor. Although you still get that oriental feel to it, it gives you a little different composition. It's very good on your grilled meats. So I'd like to show you that. Also within this marinade, we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and about 1/3 of a cup of rice wine vinegar. I'm a big fan of rice wine vinegar. It has a sweet consistency. You can buy it with or without sugar. This is the one with sugar, and then I avoid putting sugar into the marinade. So it's a sweet vinegar, very crisp, and it works excellent on salmon. And I've pre-chopped some large leaf parsley, and we're going to add that as well. Another very interesting product which has come out in the stores lately is a vacuum sealed bag with pre-peeled garlic in it. This is excellent for seniors who have trouble with dexterity. You don't have to peel your garlic and you don't have to buy a giant container of it. If you have a large container of garlic, it goes bad quickly. These vacuum sealed 4 to 5 cloves at a time, they work out excellent for cooking in the kitchen, and they have a much longer shelf life. Another tip when you're chopping garlic is I have a meat tenderizer at home, and it's quite like this. So what we try to do, instead of, you'll see chefs on TV put the back blade of the knife and pop it down with their hand. Well, some people aren't comfortable around a blade of a knife. So what you can do is you take out your meat tenderizer and you just pop it down like that. I use the coarse side so that the garlic doesn't fly all around your kitchen. And as you can see, it comes right out, or maybe you can't see. You get a nice tight bundle, run your knife through it once or twice, and that also goes right into the marinade. So to recap the marinade, we have the juice of 3 citrus, fresh parsley, olive oil, rice wine vinegar, fresh ginger, and we're going to mix that up. And would you grab me the fresh salmon? Now, if you have the means to get to the grocery store often, you can buy yourself pieces of salmon. This is a wild sockeye salmon, and you can go and get it fresh every day. These particular fillets came in a freezer bag, and they were individually wrapped in cryovac sheets. So you can buy a bag of 8, take them home. They're very reasonably priced. They worked out to less than $5 a pound. You can thaw them out one at a time and keep them in your freezer. There's been such advances in the fishing boats that now when they catch the salmon, they're processed right on these large boats. So they go immediately into a freezer. So you almost are getting fresh. Well, they'll say that you're getting fresh, but that's what you get. So we're going to put these right into the marinade. And these should really sit overnight. Fortunately, the wonder of television has allowed me to already marinate some from yesterday. So Sherry's going to grab those for me out of the fridge and put those in the fridge for me, please. They'll change slightly in color as you marinate them, and the pink will go almost a little bit lighter. What that is that's the acid from the citrus partially cooking the salmon. In addition, the salmon will form a skin on it from the acid cooking process overnight, and that'll allow the moisture to stay inside of the salmon while you're cooking it. I'm also going to do something that I like to do at home. Is I have cast iron pans. I know a lot of you out there have them and don't know how to use them. I get it as hot as I can, and that'll sear one side of the fish. I also fire up my oven and put that on 400 degrees. And we'll get a good sear on one side and dump that right into the oven. And then while that's cooking, we'll start to work on the other portions of the meal today. Behind me, I had a cast iron pan heating up. Hopefully it's hot enough. And what we're going to do is we're going to put them fleshy side down right into the pan. You can hear a good sear there, I hope. And then we're going to pop that right into the oven. That'll cook in 10 to 15 minutes. If you could put that away for me. And I also like to make that the day before so I can chill it in the refrigerator overnight. As I said in the beginning, this is a cold salad, and the salmon has an incredible texture inside of it by searing in the chemical cooking process. So we'll want to grab the greens. We have some mesclun greens and some baby spinach. I want to talk a little bit about how that's produced. We live in a wonderful age that the supermarkets sell everything pre-made. You can get it year-round. You can get all kinds of different things. This is a mesclun mix. It's a different types of lettuce. Very popular in the high-end restaurants. And this is baby spinach, which I prefer. You don't have to, whenever you're cooking with it, you don't have to de-stem it. So I buy both of these. We put the salads together. For today's purposes, on this entree number one, we're going to have just a small bed of the mesclun greens in the center. And we'll use that later. Thank you. We're also going to make our garnish now. Today's garnish with this salad, in addition to the lavash points that we made earlier, will be a scallion flower. Okay. We make that by taking the white part of the root of this green onion and our paring knife. You start about an inch up from the bottom. We just cut a couple. And some people call this a scallion chrysanthemum. And you put those in ice water, and they'll curl up, and they'll make a beautiful edible garnish for later. I'll take that salmon tray, Sherry. As I said earlier, also want to grab that bread. Here's our pre-made salmon, and it's also been marinated overnight, cooked and chilled. We put this together. We start off with our piece of salmon, right in the center. Scallion flour. And this is the end result. of our lavash points.
And how long did you cook the lavash points?
The lavash points cook about 10 minutes, and they come to a crisp. If your oven is a little slower, they might take 15 to 20 minutes. We have them pretty hot here, and the oven was hot to start with, so they go fairly quickly. The final piece of this is dried blueberries. Dried blueberries not only make an excellent snack, but they're great for the brain healthy portion of this meal. We're going to put on about 1/3 of a cup of the dried blueberries. You can use fresh if you have them. Dried blueberries will last in your cupboard, and like I said, you can mix them with nuts or any kind of things. So they're just a wonderful brain healthy, filled with antioxidants. We'll just finish this salad off for last by a little squeeze of lemon juice, a little bit of rice wine vinegar, and to avoid pouring on oil, there's a product that I have at home that I like to use here. This is called a Misto. There are several different kinds. Pampered Chef makes one. You can get these at any Targets or Bed Bath & Beyond. They're a self-pumping aerosol, so they're good for the environment. They're filled with olive oil. And at the end, you just mist your salad with olive oil. And this salad will be under 400 calories, and it's easily filling enough for one. The next thing I'd like to show you is a product called pickled ginger. We're sticking with ginger today in this particular meal because it goes so well with the salmon. We're going to take this French bread, cut it in half, a little bit of baby spinach, you. Piece of the cold salmon. Oh, and the pickled ginger. Oh, there we are. And the pickled ginger. Pickled ginger is most commonly used as a palate cleanser with sushi. Today we're going to use it as an interesting topping for this sandwich. If you happen to have 2 to 3 pieces of salmon on hand, it's a great extra to use. The last item I have for you today is a healthy snack, which you can make a little bit decadent if you'd like to. We're going to use that same French bread. We're going to cut on the diagonal. I have to be honest, I stole this from Giada on the Food Network, but I thought I'd bring it to you today in case you don't follow the cable television as much as I do. Get 4 to 6 pieces of French bread, cut on the angle. What we'll do is we'll dust those with butter and cinnamon, and then we'll grill them on a grill that I have behind me. I had pre-made some to save a little bit of time. Just going to put those on the grill. Heat those up. This is all set. Sometimes at night, if you're really hungry, you don't want to really reach for potato chips or microwave popcorn. If you can, popcorn's pretty healthy for you if you can use an air popper. The microwave popcorn is loaded with sodium and fat. Even the lights are far beyond the amount of calories and amount of fat that we should be having that late at night. An average bag of popcorn is really good for about 8 people for the portion size. And I know myself, if I'm in the mood for microwave popcorn, I'll probably eat almost a whole bag. So we want to avoid things like that. And these type of snacks are more healthy, and they get you through to the same amount of calories, and it'll get your little fix at night. Try not to eat too much at night, but this is one of those things that you can do and make yourself satisfied for your sweet tooth and satisfied for your stomach. You can use whole wheat French bread. Whole wheat French bread is a really nice option. The sugar makes it plenty sweet enough. What we're going to put on it today is some fresh strawberries or strawberry preserves, Nutella, which is a chocolate and hazelnut mix, or peanut butter. And all of these items are pretty good for you as far as the sugar content is concerned, and they're really good for you as far as protein is concerned, and much better for your digestive system than processed foods. You can buy in the grocery store almond butter, hazelnut butter. Some of the high-end stores have a grinder where they can make you peanut butter, or you can just buy natural peanut butter, which is the kind that has the oil separate on the top, and you need to mix that back up or drain off the oil. So we'll cut up a couple strawberries. I always like to make a little garnish whenever we have a plate going.